All right, the Reds, it's Talking Reds. Tuesday's Talking Reds, match day Talking Reds, and you've got me, Gareth Roberts, and her, Chloe Bloxam. Hi.
Hi.
We're just going to talk about that match first, I think, first of all. The Reds back in European action at Anfield for the first time since that game against Atletico Madrid when we went out of the European Cup. That was the first time we had been beaten in 26 home games in all European competition, won 18, drawn 7, and no one is really given Midtjylland a chance tonight. In fact, I've seen odds of like 25-1 for them to win, which is mad when, you know, it's literally two teams. Loads of talk, Chloe, about all the things that they do behind the scenes, loads of data stuff and Moneyball stuff and how they identify targets, and obviously they use the same throw-in coach that we use. They use them first. In fact, he is teaching throw-ins to every team in our Champions League group. Did you know that?
I didn't. But
this came up yesterday on Under the Lights, which is our preview show, which if you subscribe you can have a listen to. We go in depth about this game. But yeah, he's the throw-in coach for Liverpool, Ajax, Atalanta, and Midtjylland.
Something's going on.
What's he going to wear tonight?
Money. I mean, it's battle of the throw-ins now, isn't it? Like, forget everything else. You know, you've got your world-class players on the pitch now. It's all down to throw-ins this game. It's a bit mad. I didn't even know how to say the name. Never mind, give them a chance at winning this game. So I think for me, Liverpool will go out there and do the business. Maybe we might even underestimate them and put out a weakened team. So it's Champions League football at Anfield. We've waited how long for it? You know, after Atletico Madrid, where we went out when we shouldn't have. You know, if we
played well.
We played really well. You know, I remember Adrian did a mistake that let them into the game, and that's when we lost it. But you know, at home, you'd back us against anyone, especially, you know, further down the line in the Champions League. I don't think we've been beaten two legs apart from Atletico Madrid under Klopp. So it's Champions League, the feelings are back, and it's a bit sad that you can't have the atmosphere that you do on a Champions League night. But you know, you've still got the same drive sat at home in the sense of you want to win the game. Yeah,
and Klopp's mentioned, hasn't he, that, you know, okay, they haven't got the crowd there and it won't be the famous European night in terms of the flags, the banners, the noise, the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. But Liverpool have managed to pretty much keep going at home. Like, it is still an advantage. Klopp says obviously they still enjoy playing there, you know, in terms of like routines and, you know, it's familiar surroundings and all that kind of gear. It's 62 home games now in the Premier League, undefeated at Anfield, and as I said, a really good record in Europe as well. It's hard, you know, it can come across arrogant because we're Liverpool fans, but it's hard to see anyway, whatever team they put out tonight, that Liverpool don't win.
Yeah, and I think you can also bring the fact that we're champions of England, we were champions of Europe, champions of the world. I think the fact that, you know, this team that we've hardly even heard of is coming to Anfield, that's massive for them, you know, one of the biggest games they've got. So they'll definitely be wanting to put an impression. You know, it's Liverpool that you face in the Champions of England, so people will be watching this game. And I think it's just how well can we deal with them whilst also not getting injuries and also keeping the momentum up, because, you know, Champions League games, I love when Champions League games come on because you're playing that many games. It's on the bounce. If you know, you've got to keep the momentum. If you slip, you've always got a game that Tuesday, Wednesday to bounce back. And I think at this rate, that's what our squad love. They love playing football. You heard Henderson in the post-match conference the other day. He said, you know, this is our job. We pretty much love it. So, you know, we'd play every day if we could. And, you know, under the lights at Anfield, you know, not the atmosphere, but it's still familiar, it's still home, it's still undefeated for how long. So, you know, you've got to keep that record going, and even though they probably won't be thinking about it, you know, it's still there, as in the long run goes on, and it's them saying, well, yeah, that's us, that's Anfield.
And 7 European Cup sounds nice, doesn't it?
It sounds lovely.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing everything that we always do around that, so they'll be writing on the website, there'll be stuff on our social media, there'll be a post-match podcast and a post-match video as well. That's if I can find a way to actually watch the match, but anyway, that's another story. Loads of other stuff going on. People are talking still about the pay-per-view situation, and a few facts and figures have been out there today. One that I did enjoy and did share earlier on Twitter was from a Times report that said, you know, obviously the broadcasters are being very coy and very shy about what the actual figures are in terms of how many people have actually watched these games for 15 quid. But there was a line in the Times that said the top flight games have been shown via Sky and BT Sports box office channels, but one match is believed to have attracted considerably fewer than 1,000 paying subscribers. So that, I think it's fair to say that, you know, by and large, this boycott has had an effect, has worked. You've seen Carragher and Neville talking about it last night on Monday Night Football. There's also been, really interestingly, sort of little bits leaked out. No one's named to it, but, you know, a source at Sky saying, this is damaging our reputation, we're not particularly behind it. I thought it was quite mad actually sitting there watching them two last night, slaughtering it on Sky. Yeah. So, you know, it does feel like Sky are trying to put it across that their arms up the back a little bit and it's not down to them, this idea, and they still want to be seen as sound in all this. We've even had, bizarrely, Mike Ashley coming out saying it should be a £5.
Honestly, it would be him, wouldn't it? It would be him to come out and say it. Just, that explains it. That's in a nutshell. That Mike Ashley's came out and said, actually, it should just be a £5. No, actually, it should be absolutely not. And how much do these people pay? You know, BT, you've got your Champions League games. Sky, you've got your football games. Your Premier League, big fixtures. And, you know, you spend 60 quid maybe a month on BT if you've got a package, near 100 quid maybe on Sky. And I've seen the fact that, you know, the Now TV subscriptions, you know, those things where if you couldn't get the game, £10 a day or whatever for that, the 24 hour, that's gone now. Yeah. It's all for money, and it's all quite shocking. And, you know, every single person who has boycotted should be proud of themselves because, you know, in a time of COVID especially, when you maybe haven't got a lot to do or you're bored, you know, it's a statement to not watch your football team, to not pay that 15 quid and give it to those at the top who are money hoarding people who just want even more. So I think all football fans across the world who've bought into this boycott is you know, brilliant. And to be fair, you know, the food banks, how much were raised for them, which is
more than £300,000 across all the fans who've been doing this, because there hasn't just been Liverpool fans, been Newcastle fans as well, been various other fans, and in total it's now over £300,000 gone to food banks, which of course it's a shame that we even have food banks, but we have, and we are where we are, and £300,000 will go a long way for them, so that's brilliant. What's your money on the match that got watched by less than 1,000 people? So you've had West Brom v Burnley was 15 quid, and Fulham Sheffield United as well was another 15 quid job. I think it was those ones. It's definitely one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be Liverpool.
No.
Even though there was a boycott of Liverpool, I think there's going to be enough people around the world that probably chipped in to take it over 1,000.
I mean, the two games that you said, I don't even remember watching them. Like, I probably somehow did, but like, I don't remember watching them. So yeah, it probably is then, to be fair. But I mean, to be fair, the lower, I don't want to say lower teams, but the teams in the bottom half of the table who aren't going to be, you know, on TV the most because they are not the biggest teams. You know, they're ending up paying so much more money than us who are in the top six, who will most likely be on Sky or BT because, you know, they're the ones who are going to have to sit there and watch their team for 15 quid by Sky. So
I think it just feels grim now, doesn't it? It's just
like, you know, at this time, it's like they just haven't understood what's going on with the world.
They haven't read the room at all. No, it's just like, you know, everyone's a bit down, a bit depressed. We can't lead our normal lives and all the rest of it. You know, it's depressing headlines every day, and you know, I just think it's a bit of a mad one when you had the government coming out not so long back saying, you know, football, it's important to get football back because it's good for people, it's a good distraction, it's good for mental health, all of those things. And now it's like, okay, well, we got you back and we've got you watching. So now how can we screw you? How can we charge you more and more money? And it's just not a great look. But it does look like there'll be some kind of compromise-ish. They're talking about knocking it to a tenner, which I don't think really changes the situation. As I say, Ashley's mentioned a £5. I mean, all he'll be wanting his grubby little mitts on is just any money, isn't it? He'll be like, you know, well, if it's a £5, more people will have a go and I'll get more money, basically. That's what he's thinking there. Yeah, what else is going on? I mean, back to the match tonight. What do you reckon is going to be the team? Because I think there's loads of ways you can go with it. Like I even wonder whether what happened at the weekend changes it a little bit in Klopp's mind. So what I mean by that is Bobby went a long time there without a goal. People were starting to get on his back. He gets the goal, he looked more confident afterwards, and you start to think, well, for instance, would it be worth starting him tonight against, you know, without sounding too much of a bell end, inferior opposition, and hoping that he can get more goals and get his confidence up even higher and be ready for West Ham at the weekend?
Yeah, I think that's a big talking point, because a lot of people say rest Bobby, you know.
And you've got Minamino ready to go.
But I think Minamino also can play on the wing. I wouldn't like to see him on the wing, because I think he's too good of a technical player. He doesn't have the pace, but you know, in tight spaces he'll get you out of them, and he's much more of the centre forward, maybe like Bobby is. But you know, it's always the question of, when a player actually gets that goal, do you try and keep the momentum up and you know, the confidence up by starting him? And then if he doesn't do so well against Midtjylland, then what do you do? Because for last weekend, I was quite surprised that I saw Firmino play. I wanted Firmino to be dropped, not because I don't like him, not because he wasn't doing well, just because I think he needed time to maybe get that rest or get that bit of, maybe off the bench as an impact sub or something like that, because I think Jota he's been brilliant since he's came in, and I don't think you can bench him. So at the weekend, I was surprised to see both of them playing. And the first half, I thought, this formation's not the one. Like this.
No, it was a bit mad, wasn't it? Because you mentioned Jota, and like, although he scored the winner and he was good, I think he looked a bit lost over there on the right. You know, it was obviously uncomfortable to him. Bobby was even deeper than normal, and like, you know, it wasn't really working first half. But, I mean, you wonder whether he'll just persist with it because he wants to crowbar all those players in. But then you have got Thiago to come back. You've got Keita to come back, you've got Matip to come back, all of those not likely to be involved tonight from what we've heard so far. There's the other way as well, isn't there? You know, you can go with, like, you know, you could have Curtis Jones in there. You know, we've not seen Origi at all this season, but he is still kicking round.
He wasn't on the bench last week.
You got the Shaq. You know what I mean?
I do like the Shaq. I don't know why. I just I always do. He's injured more times than, you know, he's actually playing, but I do like Shaqiri, I really do. I think he might do that. Last week against Ajax, he took the front three off, and you were thinking to yourself, what the hell has he done here? Like, what are you doing? Like, Mane is so influential. You know, he was getting in behind him constantly. He was the maker for our goal. And then he takes him off, and then you watch how good that front three did, who came on, and you think to yourself, and this is why you're the manager and, like, we're not. So I think you could be surprised and have a totally different front three, or it could be, lads, you know, I'll take it off at 60 minutes. Go and see what you can do within those 60 minutes. After 60 minutes, you can come off and you can be rested for the weekend. And I think that's why it's very good that, you know, we did it against Ajax, which is a top-class opponent, and Midtjylland, who, you know, I don't want to underestimate them, but I wouldn't put them in the category of Ajax, even though they're a football team in our Champions League this season, in this group. You know, I could see us putting on, you know, making a substitute 50, 60 minutes in, full front three off.
Yeah, we've got 5 subs again.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that until Ajax, where I was like counting the substitutions on my hand, and I was just totally confused until, you know, the commentator said it's actually 5 substitutions. So, yeah.
I love this, by the way. I've only just spotted this, but I'm going to throw it in. We were just talking about Jota there, and obviously he's made a good impact at Liverpool, played well, settled in quickly, not following that usual pattern of Klopp signings where you don't see them for about 3 months because he's whipping them in training or whatever. So he's come straight in and he's done well, and fair play to him. Apparently, though, this is quite funny, this. So, obviously, at Anfield or at any ground now, if you turn the crowd noise off, the blag crowd noise, you can hear what they're saying a bit, and like commentators all the time apologising for language, which really annoys me. We've heard it, mate, we're all right, do you know what I mean? But yeah, according to The Independent, they said Klopp and Linders, you could hear them talking after Jota's goal on Saturday, and Linders apparently said, "Whoa, what a player!"
Sounds like Pep Linders, that, you know, he's just...
And Klopp replied, "And what a person."
No, I can't. No, there's no way. I can't imagine him saying that. There's no way. I mean, it was a brilliant header, but oh no, I can't picture that myself. Like, but you know, no, I can't. No, Jurgen Klopp couldn't say that. I've never heard anything like that in my life out of Jurgen Klopp's mouth. Well, what a player, no. No.
What? I mean, it'll be there somewhere on the internet if it has happened. I presume the Independent's written it up from somewhere. But yeah, I'm yet to see the clip of but yeah, I might go and have a look for it after this. Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's loads and loads going on, to be honest with you. I've had a little look there while we've been talking. There's little bits of transfer speculation. Obviously, Liverpool still being linked to centre-halves because we're expected to make a move for one in January, given the injury to Virgil van Dijk. There's various links the other way as well. PSG apparently interested in Wijnaldum and things like that. Kind of feels like we need to do a separate show on that, and that's what we have Rob Gutman for, who absolutely loves transfer gossip. Well, as I say, tonight Liverpool are playing at Anfield, and we'll be doing all our usual stuff. Post-match pod, post-match video, stuff on the website, stuff on the socials. So get involved, watch along. There will be a Hot Michael as well, which is the alternative commentary from some of the Anfield rappers, so you don't have to watch the fellas apologising for language. Instead, you can listen to, Anfield rappers swearing away on the Hot Mic app. So you just download the Hot Mic app. You can sync it with your telly as you're watching the match. And if you want some alternative commentary, that is available for you there. Chloe, nice one. Prediction for tonight?
4-1, Liverpool.
4-1? Bit negative, isn't it? I'm saying 4-0. 4-0. Come on, the Reds. Fabinho will sort it out at the back. Up the Reds, that's been talking Reds.